Not too bad. Looking forward to the weekend.
Me too. I'm going on holiday next week. So
Great.
Nice.
Have a good time.
That's good. Yeah, I'm also going on a holiday next week.
Oh, nice. Where are you going, Robin?
I'm going to Thailand for 2 months.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
I mean, it's not really a holiday.
It's your second home.
Workation, I don't have time off, but the DataUnion, if I'm not there, nothing happens, so
Yeah.
I cannot disappear.
Can't take a holiday. Yeah.
No, except if the whole company takes a holiday. So.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so like this is it. This is called MIAP, more inclusive annotations for people. So like here they especially went into this, to focus on enabling machine learning fairness research. So I think that this would be interesting, thing to work on. Like we provide additional annotations for 100,000 images that contain at least one person bounding box in the original annotations. So I think that perfectly aligns kind of with what we want to do, right? Because and then they also said that they checked feminine, predominantly masculine, and unknown, and then young, middle, older, unknown. So like they have extra these attributes, to have then so that we can determine, like if we really get certain all the groups correctly, so like then we could also like look specifically for data if one of the classes is not worked out so well, I think that this would be something that we could look into for a start, because like you can just, I can just download stuff here. I can download the bounding boxes. You can download the data itself. So yeah, that should be okay. No, I did not want to do it, but anyways.
Is this the same one that we were talking about like a few months ago?
Yeah, I think so, yes. I mean, here's also a paper about that. So
it's by Google or something, right?
Yeah, it's from Google, yes. I mean, they also talk about it in the paper, but I don't think that this is too helpful anyways. So yeah, I mean, they have this crowdsource annotation, like maybe just that's a little bit like what we are doing with DataUnion. But here, this part, like I'm not so quite sure whether this part donated and Google in the same sentence, like this is just like, I don't know.
Yeah, all of the data, we all donate data to Google.
We can call it like this, yes. Constantly. Even right now, while we're speaking and while we're in the call, we're donating our data to Google. I mean, they probably learned from this too. So they probably have something, specifically to look for calls where people are talking about decentralized machine learning, and then they will look at, then this is flagged, and then they have somebody looking into it.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's also more conspiracy theory. But yeah, I mean, all of this data looks like, the stuff that we are looking for with DataUnion. And, they're doing already the right thing. So that's basically also the idea here, to have like this and this and this and this. Yeah.
Cool. Hey, Saravana, by the way. Welcome.
Hey, hi.
Good. So yeah, I mean, here there's the paper, step toward more inclusive data here, blah, blah. And if we go down here, you can see here, they have lots of annotations. So they also have tell it whether something is a suit or not, and then man and stuff like this. So like they have a lot of annotations. We don't necessarily have to take all of them. But now here they added especially like man, woman, and stuff. So they now made sure that they capture all of this,
Do they have face? Oh yeah, I see face bounding boxes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean, you can really not. I don't think there's face here. It's more about man. Some faces, yes. Well, this would be something that we would have to explore deeper. And now they're basically using 70,000 images from training and 30,000 for validation. Then to determine. So they determined what is missing and stuff like this, and then they improved it. And
cool. Do you think there's any pre-trained models on the data set? Have you come across any?
No, No, maybe they will talk about this here. Limitations. Yeah, so they're saying that this is there is no real representation or like a balance in the data set, so they were looking into this. I'm also 100% sure that this is the way it is. But let's see. No, I don't see anything. But I can just try to Google it.
I'm just checking papers with code. Hold on, I'll share it in the chat. Doesn't look like there's any benchmarks. Oh, maybe there's one paper here with code.
This one.
Yeah.
Robustness disparities in commercial phase detection. It's Patrick. Lighter, darker, bright, dim. This is good. Yes. 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 So they evaluated AWS and Microsoft Azure. Okay.
They have some like
That's about benchmarking.
They have some processing scripts. Extract the frames from video. Corrupt the images.
So, but they used a different data set, CCD data set.
It said they used 4, so.
Corrupt images.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I don't see. Oh, the open images v6. Is that the? Oh, yeah, that's the same one. So they use 4 different data sets. And one of them is the MIAP. What's the purpose?
You looked into the file?
No. There's the Maya, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it seems like they are trying to corrupt the images to check the robustness of the different face detectors. So the focus wasn't on like a model to improve the performance.
It was to check how well like AWS and Amazon and Microsoft do.
I wonder what the results were. Like, did the model?
And here they're basically okay. So I mean, this might not be too bad as a pre-processing step, but then if we wanted to train on that, then we would have to. Okay.
So what's your thinking behind this data set compared with other data sets? What advantages do we get by training on this?
So yeah, I mean, from my point of view, the difference is that we have now also, like in a normal data set, you have person. Here we have now male, female, or predominantly male, predominantly female, others, and then also the age groups, so that's already something. And what he did now here with the skin color, that's also very interesting, because, in a way it is kind of racist, but I mean, well, that's what we want to do in a way, to make sure that the thing is not racist. We have to be a little bit racist and know what skin color and what ethnicity and which age, and like this kind of stuff is in some images, to then be able to make a spread, like that. My personal idea would be if we can make some kind of a validation data set out of this, to say, okay, like we have a good spread now over a certain number of categories that we think about now. I mean, optimally, we would have everything, like all ethnicities, all age groups, and then all genders, like represented in a verification data set. And we don't use that for training, but we only always use this for validation. And then we can determine also, okay, how good is the algorithm? Is it now biased against something? And then we could also then specifically make some kind of missions. You could say like, where we're looking for people who look similar to this. You don't have to then make it explicit, or we look for people, or older people, or something like this, And then you could directly ask, the people who are using the mobile app, go and look for these images. And I mean, I think that would already be a different kind of an approach, So I know that Google did something. They asked for people with darker skin color in some cases, because their algorithm was doing not very well. And then they gave like everybody $5 if they let themselves, get. And I mean, if you do it then also with a mobile app, you can do it like the person has to do a video, around, like zooming up, down, maybe then also changing the light conditions, and then then you have a lot of input. Like every frame you can kind of use that from one person, and then you would be growing the data set by a lot. If it's of course one selfie shot, okay, it's also not bad. But if somebody creates a video and then you chop that up into images, I mean, you have much more, right? Then yeah, so like these things would be very interesting. So I mean, basically we can put this mission into every install that somebody does in general, but also then specifically looking for something. So that's where I kind of think that things should be going, because then the algorithm will be very well suited, to not bias against anybody. And if we then have on the validation data set like equal performance for every class, then we know, okay, our training set is also balanced, so like, and the algorithm is also not biasing against anybody. And then we can use this also as something to advertise the algorithm, to say, okay, well, I mean, I don't know how everybody else is evaluating that, but we did it like this, so.
Yeah, and it plays well with one of the big advantages of DataUnion, which is like crowdsourcing from the real world, because so your distribution of your training data set will be similar to the distribution of where you deploy, which isn't the case in like traditional tech companies. Usually there's like a deployment issue, right? And so if we can confirm that it has high performance for like all types of like a more diverse set of people, like that's one of the big advantages of this technology. And so we can like show that through results, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so that you can benchmark the quality. It can also be, that the data set has to be differently balanced. Maybe you need certain kind of data more so that it can be that the algorithm can later not bias against it. I mean, do you know that? I don't know that, so I'm quite sure that this is something nobody really has done so far, from my point of view. And I mean, for me, this is a great experiment, to then also have everybody who contributed the data like as a shareholder in that. So of course, I mean, if you want to be perfect on every human, you have to probably have every human. But I mean, I would also be fine with that. I don't mind. If everybody participates in this experiment.
Such an interesting idea. Yeah.
What do you guys think about this? So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. We can actually already get started now. We have found 3 different models. In the last week we went through the face recognition and cornea, and then this week I actually worked with deep privacy. So we have 3 models. Maybe we will start with evaluating them on this data set to get some data out, and then and then we take a look, and from there we will know how to proceed, what sort of when we build our model or what, then we know what to do. So we can already do that. So we evaluate the 3 face detection model that we have found on the data set that you are showing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that can we start with that?
That sounds great. Yes. Question is just, do you have compute resources to do that if you want to?
I actually just downloaded the deep privacy. I need to check because I'm still using Colab. I unfortunately cannot get into Colab Pro because I'm in Malaysia and they have not opened up here. So I'm actually looking for it, but
maybe I can also give you then just access to one of the our GPU server from DataUnion, because I mean, at the moment we are not using it really, but because I mean, I have the problem. I have AWS credits for free, but if I shut down the machine, this machine type is in so high demand that I will not get an instance anymore, and I have to reserve it kind of. So like it's anyways 24/7 online.
Yeah.
It's a V100 GPU, so it's not really bad or something. It's I think it's okay. 16 gigabytes of VRAM, so it should be fine also to run something like this. Then I mean, I can make an account for you, give me your private key, your public key, SSH key, and then maybe I can just add you there, and for some time you can then just do some experiments. You know?
By the way, Robin, the Saravana and Mohammed, they're the two freelancers that are going to be working on the project with Insight on the medical
Okay.
images.
Nice
so
to meet you guys. So yeah, maybe then this would be potentially also the same server we want to put that data on. So like maybe we can also then set it up in this way. Yeah, so I mean, I can give both of you guys then access to this machine. I mean, like I have to talk to my engineer how we do that, because I mean it's also something where we develop our stuff. But like, yeah, so if we then somehow, yeah, maybe we make it a channel or something to talk about, okay, I'm using this now, or that everybody's kind of up to speed. But then this would be something, you know, I think this power would be enough. Or what do you guys think? V100 normally is kind of an okay machine, right?
I think it definitely better than what I'm currently using, so I can't complain.
Okay, and then we can download the data there, you know, and then it's there, and then we can do some splits on the machine and stuff like this. And then we can also keep the environment like this, and then both of you guys would then be working there on this machine together, if this is okay for you.
Yeah, actually, it's actually nice to meet you, Robin. Actually, Ashit has given me like a bit of a overview about the project yesterday. So I was just interested towards this, and I thought of attending the meeting. So yeah, as you have rightly pointed out, I think like that would be a constraint where the compute resource might be the constraint. If it's possible to share some GPUs, as you mentioned, like we can experiment on that and see like how far this data that it's easier for us to train the model in the resource, and then see how it works. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you can send me a direct message with your SSH pub key, you know, where we use this authorized user access there and stuff like this. So no passwords, you know, only this public keys. And then maybe Richard, for you also, right, in a way, potentially, if you also want to check something else.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I mean, I will talk to Akshay how he sees this, and if things are too complicated, maybe I can also try to get just another server somewhere else. We just want to keep that one up, you know, like we have domains and stuff linked to that, you know, for our computer data environment and stuff. But potentially I can also get like another server for some time. The only problem is like, you know, if you keep that server running, it costs like a good amount of money per day. So I cannot just have too many of them at the same time. That's the only thing. Yeah. And like turning it, like bringing it up, turning it off, you know, like this is always, then you have to go to the AWS management console. And I cannot give you guys access to that because I mean, just like that's where all the credits are somehow stored. So
yeah.
Complicated, little bit complicated thing. That's why these collabs are in a way nice, you know. If you use it and you have it and it's run by Google and nobody cares actually how much it costs. So it has also some advantages in a way. But yeah, we want to create something persistent here in a way, and then also then we should also have a machine for that. Okay, yeah. So that would be, from my point of view, we would then have to be probably the script that we just found, right? That might be he already starts to separate, you know, like, or to split up the classes in a way, these images. I don't know, resolve age, resolve gender, resolve race label, you know, like, okay, maybe I share one more time. I mean, that's like something what he does there is maybe something that we can start also with distributing the data. I don't know whether this is otherwise. So like, you see this here, he has like this age, the ages. So I mean, maybe we also use some more data sets, but like, where does he have that? Where does he get this from? Here, there's something where he has this one. Okay. These are like all some crude hacks. This is not. It's not clear for me what exactly he's looking at here, but yeah. I mean, but in the end, like this would be interesting, you know. Yes, okay. So yeah, here. So unique IDs. I mean, this splitting is probably interesting, you know. Like so, maybe we can really use this at first to see.
Yeah, like the question is there a model that you can run that detects the face as well as identifies the gender and race and stuff? Or does that exist? Like that paper could have just tested.
No, I mean, that's also not necessary. I mean, I would not use this approach to. I do not want to know if somebody which gender they are. This is not what I mean. This would not be my objective goal.
Yeah.
My objective goal would be like, I have my validation data set, and I know the properties about this. But I don't tell the algorithm anything. It should not know anything. I just want to make sure that I tune. Like it's more of a data-centric approach. I want to find the right data in my training data set, so that it works well with my exactly chosen or like very specified verification data set. So, and of course now 30,000 images, it's a start, but like in the end, you probably also want to grow the verification data set, So like we can also come up with some more clever ways later to grow that, like if you have, to add like of every person, to add something of every person, like if we have a person doing a video, we will take some of these images, like maybe, and add them anyways. Like somehow you would have then like a representation about individuals and the representation around like the distribution around genders, age groups, and ethnicities and everything. But then also like individuals. So like you make sure that it really catches also everybody individually in a way. That could be also an option.
Yeah.
I
was thinking you might want to extract the gender and race when people upload images, but I guess they could provide those labels themselves on the DataUnion app, for example. It might be good to like validate.
The validation will be there, so like other people will then look and they will see what the other person claimed about themselves, and then they will make an estimation. But I mean, can you really see from a picture if somebody's like 33 or 34? Probably not. You can say middle-aged, young, like that's maybe possible. And I think that's also fine, like for us, it's not, I don't want to necessarily have an algorithm that determines if somebody's 34 or 35, like does not matter to me. It just should be very good and not confuse apes and black people like Facebook's algorithm does, like you upload or I saw another good picture, like if it's a white hand holding a thermometer, it says thermometer. If the skin is black, it says holding a gun, like so.
Oh my God! Yeah.
These are examples of algorithms that are sold on the market, like so. And these are the things that happen. So like I mean, these are basically the actions that we want to kind of now figure out how to resolve these problems. Like if we get, and then the thing is like it should be publicly available. Like whether it's with Gradio or some other or on the Ocean Marketplace. So like as an example at some point, and then say, hey, so now I have this picture, or in the app also, like of course in the app, but also for outside of the app, that you can say, hey, I upload my picture. Does it now detect me and anonymize me or not? Like so. And if it doesn't, you can directly say, hey, no, I want to say this is wrong. And then you make this claim, then other people verify it automatically, and then if other people also accept that, then it will be added. And we will. Yeah.
You could incentivize people for finding cases where it doesn't work.
So then they will get a share of the algorithm. So like that's the idea. So like I mean, we kind of want to create something. I'm now calling this not co-ownership anymore, but I call this more. I think like a value share community, so like people who share the value that is created by this algorithm. But then like as soon as you find one example, you're already becoming a member of that. Then there might also be a Discord channel for these people who have qualified, like then maybe you get an NFT because of this, like because you found something that enhanced the algorithm, and then we could also, you can go very far here, like can have a rank list and then say how well the people did, and then this kind of stuff. But in the end, like it's then also a community that can form around making this better. And I mean, the people here are kind of now the trusted seat, if you want to, like the people who start working on this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like basically what we want to do is like we've kind of been inspecting the results of different face detectors visually, but we haven't started to put any numbers on that. So like, some face detectors might fail based on the size of the face in the image versus like big images, but also some might fail based on, gender or race and stuff like that. And so if we set up this validation set on this new data set, it means we can evaluate what their performance is of different face detectors across variation of these. And so like maybe we could start to analyze the performance of these different face detectors according to that, and maybe even like the size of the face in the image and stuff. And so we'll be able to see which is the best face detector so far.
Yeah, and I mean, like in my previous job, we also didn't have face labels, but what we then did, like we make an assumption. We assume that people are, head up, not in a handstand. So like it was always then the top part of the person that was considered as the facial region. So like then we were always feeding this in. So like this can also be a hack that we might have to do if the faces are not annotated completely. But it should also work reasonably well. Like it's relatively unlikely. I mean, you could also somehow check like how the orientation is, that the height is bigger than the width of the person label and stuff like this, and then you could also choose like this. But yeah, I think the first step is like I will try to give you guys access, verify this, and then we download the data, and then we can maybe use this script already. Maybe we'll then also use all the data sets that this person now used. I mean, if they found 4 of them, and now the script can already build such a distribution. Maybe we can check into that. I mean, this is a great find, right? If this would be already doing what we want to do,
so cool. Yeah.
Then we have to then make a sub-selection. Like basically, probably we'll have to then download the images or like visually inspect them or somehow.
Yeah, it'd be a really cool blog post as well. It's like novel, right? This is like a contribution in academic contribution almost. Not that we'll publish a paper, but for sure we can like write a blog post.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think some projects are going in this direction, but not with the same kind of tooling behind it, like in the same kind of ethics, right, about the value sharing. So I think that's something different.
Yeah, I think it's going to get to the point where we can actually publish some papers on these new technologies that we're using for machine learning and stuff. I know it takes a while to like get through peer review. Maybe we just put it up on archive or something.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. I that's why I stopped doing I didn't start a PhD, because the first papers I tried to publish, the people said, we don't believe you. I said, yeah, here's the facts. This is with data. You can replicate it. Here's the GitHub. They said, we don't believe you. And then I was like, okay. After 3 times, I was like, guys, no, thank you. I will go on my own way and work instead of arguing with the people.
Yeah. I got like 5 papers rejected in a row at the start of last year, just for like terrible reviews. So I sympathize. Peer review is completely broken. But hopefully we can decentralize peer review in Web3 or something and do it better, like Absentia are trying. So,
I mean, I see this computer data and ocean protocol technology and stuff like this as kind of a start for a new way of peer review. If the peer review of a paper, I mean, not all of the papers will of course go in this direction, but if it's about algorithmic novelties, then you can publish this and people can really check it and they can verify, the results. And I mean, that's like much better than just reading the paper, So like, and then if then handing out the code and having the model and something somewhere present and testable, if this is a requirement, it would also be a huge step forward, because people make some kind of papers and claim this and this, and in the end, like, yeah, you can only read about it, but you cannot really experience it. So
yeah, exactly. Fully reproducible would be great.
Yeah. So I mean, Shadi and Absentia are also going a bit in this direction. I mean, like the setups that we kind of are building are already really very much going in this direction, because like these properties are kind of implicitly, ingrained in all of this, So like, there's not too much that you have to do to also have this really then open and stuff like this. So
yeah.
In our data portal, we would then select the images. You would say these ones, and then like we can also, the compute job is attached to this list of the images that were used. So I mean, it's then kind of very obvious, and then it's also can be logged on blockchain and stuff like this. So.
For sure. Cool.
Okay, yeah. Then we have the next step kind of figured out. Yeah, please contact me with your pub keys. I will just talk to my engineer, and then it might take 1 or 2 days.
Perfect.
Yeah, so like then we can continue like this.
Great. Yeah, we can get some experiments going in the repo on the results. Let's see.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Sure. Thank you.
You.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chat
Bye.
soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.